Now let us solve some of the numericals on the reversed Brayton cycle. We already studied in detail the how to find the COP and what are the various temperature, various pressures, various formula for heat transfer, work done. We already see all of this. Now let us solve some numericals. This first numerical is a very basic numerical. It says that in a gas refrigeration cycle, the temperature at the inlet, the temperature at the inlet and exit of an isentropic expander are 300 Kelvin and 180 Kelvin respectively. At the inlet of the turbine and at the outlet of the turbine, the temperature is 300 and 180. Compression is assumed to be isentropic, there is no losses. Then we have to find the COP. This is the question. This is a very basic question, directly formula used question. It is this one is right. If I say, if you remember that, if let us make a TS diagram, small TS diagram, so that you will be better understanding. Suppose this is a TS diagram for reversed Brayton cycle. You know that right, this is the TS diagram. This is process 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. This is the diagram, TS diagram. So in the question we have given that at the inlet of the turbine, that means T3 is 300 Kelvin and T4 is 180 Kelvin. This temperature is given, right? So as you know that if you see from here that what is the COP? COP of the reversed Brayton cycle, the formula is 1 upon Rp raised to power gamma minus 1 upon gamma minus 1. This is the formula for your COP. If you put directly the relation, what is this Rp? We say that P2 by P1, Rp is P2 by P1, or you can write it as P3 by P1. P3 by P1, right? P3 by P4. One and the same thing, is because this is a constant pressure process. So P3 by P4. So this will be equal to Rp. And we know this because this is a reversible process. You know that T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 raised to power gamma minus 1 upon gamma. Both are the, nothing is given about your adiabatic constant. So we are assuming both adiabatic constants are equal. So in place of this Rp raised to power gamma minus 1 upon gamma, I can put T3 by T4. So the COP will be equal to, so if I write here, let us say COP will be equal to 1 upon, this is T3 by T4 minus 1. This is equal to 1 upon, this one is 300, this is 300, T4 is given 180 minus 1. So the COP answer will be 1.5. COP will be the answer of the COP. This is a very basic question, right? Very basic question, directly formula used. So the COP will be equal to 1.5, right? In this fashion, you can solve this simple question, right? Just for your understanding, we are solving this. Next, this second question is a good question of your Brayton cycle. That too a basic question, but okay. Let us solve for this second question. The second question statement says that a gas refrigeration system working on a reversed Brayton cycle has a temperature of 250 Kelvin at the inlet of compressor. So for solving any question on the reversed Brayton cycle or these kind of questions, just first of all make a habit to make TS diagram. Right, because if you make the TS diagram, then you will get more clarity that which data is given and how to proceed for the question. Let us draw a TS diagram for this question. So simple, process 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 1, right? 1, this is 2, 3, 4. So this is the question, says that it has a temperature of 250 Kelvin at the inlet of the compressor. This is the inlet of the compressor, so T1 is given 250 Kelvin. The temperature at the end of constant pressure cooling. Cooling means your heat rejection, right? When the heat is rejected to the atmosphere, so at the end of the cooling process is this 2 to 3. So at the end of the cooling, this temperature is given, T3 is given as 300 Kelvin. And rise in temperature of air in the refrigerator. Rise in temperature of the air in the refrigerator is 50 Kelvin. We have to find the net work input. How much is the net work input? That is compressor work minus your turbine work. Take specific heat is equal to 1 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Right? Now let us solve for this. So what is the rise in temperature? Let us solve. The statement says that the rise of temperature in refrigerator. How much is the rise in temperature? That is T1 minus T4. This is given as 50 Kelvin. T1 minus T4 is given as 50 Kelvin. So from here, you know this T1 is 250. So if you put 250 here, then from here you get that T4 will be equal to 200 Kelvin. T4 will be equal to your 200 Kelvin, right? Now, we know this. Now what we have to find? We have to find the net work input, that is compressor work minus turbine work. In the question, if you see, in the question it is given as air. In the question it is given as air, and air can be treated as an ideal gas. So we can write what is WC. Compressor work is H2 minus H1. This is the compressor work. No mention of velocities, so I can take changes in kinetic energy and potential energy 0. So this is compressor work minus turbine work is H3 minus H4. This you can write. And if air is an ideal gas, so air can be treated as an ideal gas. So in case of ideal gas, you can write CPT form, CPDT form. So the net work will be equal to Cp into T2 minus T1 minus Cp into T3 minus T4. T3 minus T4. So we want all these temperatures. We know 3 temperatures. T1 we know, T3 we know, and T4 we know. So how to find T2? As I said earlier, if you know that if the gamma of compression is equal to gamma of expansion, if they are same, then you can write this ratio will be equal. T3 by T4 will be equal to T2 by T1. You know this. We already solved for it, right? If these gamma are equal, then you can write T3 by T4 is equal to T2 by T1. So from here you will find T2. T3 is how much? 300. T4 we find 200 is equal to T2 by T1 is 250. So from here you will get T2. From here you will get T2. So this T2 will be 375 Kelvin. 375 Kelvin. T2 is 375 Kelvin. If you solve this, it will be 375. So now if T2 is known, you can easily find W net. W net will be equal to Cp, that is 1 into T2 minus T1. T2 is 375 minus T1 is 250 minus of Cp into T3 minus T4. T3 is how much? 300. T4 we find 200. So the W net will be equal to net work input. How much? This will be equal to 25, right? This is 125 minus 125. How much is the unit? Kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule per kg. So the W net will be 25 kilojoule per kg, right? Because we write Cp into dt. We are taking per unit mass. So the W net will be 25 kilojoule per kg. This is a very basic question, right? Nothing is in this question. Very basic question of your reversed Brayton cycle. Just if you understand the concepts and how to use the formula, what are the assumptions of the formula, so you can easily write these kind of, you can easily solve these kind of basic questions, right? Another numerical on the reversed Brayton cycle is, this numerical is basically more about the thermodynamics, right? Nothing is in there. First of all, let us draw a TS diagram. Make a habit when you are solving the reversed Brayton cycle question. First make a TS diagram so that you will be able to understand the numerical better. So we are making this TS diagram, let us say, right? We know this is process 1 to 2. Process 1 to 2. This is process 2 to 3. This is 3 to 4. And this is 4 to 1. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. Right. Now read the statement. Air is used as a refrigerant in a Brayton cycle. In this cycle, air is used as a refrigerant. If air is used, that means ideal gas is given. I am writing here the given data. Ideal gas is given because it is saying air is used, right? If the temperature at the end of heat absorption, this one, this is heat absorption, heat supply, you can say, heat is absorbed in this process at the end. That means T1 is given, and at the end of heat exchanger, or you can say this is not exchanger, this word will be something else. At the end of heat rejection, right? Not exchanger. So I did a mistake here. This is at the end of heat rejection. At the end of heat rejection. This is the heat rejection. So T3 is given. T1 is given 0 degree Celsius, that is 273 Kelvin. And T3 is given 30 degree Celsius, that means 303 Kelvin. T1 and T3 is given, and pressure ratio is 4. Pressure ratio is given as 4. Right, that means P2 by P1, which is equal to P3 by P4, is given as 4. Right. Find the temperature at all points. T1, T3 we know, T1, T3 we know, we have to find T2, T4. And also the volume flow rate at the inlet of compressor here. Volume flow rate at point 1 and at the exit of expander here. Here we have to find volume flow rate. What is the volume flow rate of the refrigerant, that is air. Cooling capacity of the plant is 1 ton of refrigeration. Refrigeration capacity is given 1 ton of refrigeration, that will be equal to 3.5 kilowatt. We know 1 ton of refrigeration is 3.5 kilowatt. So the refrigeration capacity of this plant is given as 3.5 kilowatt. And pressure at the inlet of the compressor at point 1, P1 is given 1 bar. P1 is given 1 bar. And it is saying that assume expansion and compression process both isentropic. Both the process are isentropic, that means reversible adiabatic. Now we have to find T2 and T4. Very simple question, right? So let us start. Let us say that for the process 1 to 2, we know that for the process 1 to 2, you can write that T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to power gamma minus 1 upon gamma. Right, this we know. So this will be equal to T2 divided by T1. T1 is how much? 273 is given. 273 is equal to P2 by P1 is 4 given. Gamma for air is 1.4 minus 1 divided by 1.4. If you solve this, you will get the value of T2, which is equal to T2 will be 405.67 Kelvin. 0.67 Kelvin. So the first thing which we want to find out is T2, that is 405.67 Kelvin. Right, we got this. Next, we know that if we find T, now we have to find what? T4. T4 we have to find. Now we know that if gamma of both expansion and compression are same, then you can write T2 by T1 is equal to T3 by T4. This we know, this formula we know. I told you that this formula is very useful in the Brayton cycle. If you remember this, then most of the question will be easy. T2 is how much? 405.67. Right here, we will write here. T2 is how much? 405.67 divided by T1 is 273 is equal to T3 given 303 divided by T4. So from here you will get the value of T4, and that is equal to T4 is 203.9 Kelvin. T4 is 203.9 Kelvin. Right, this is T4. Now we have to find the mass flow rate. How to find the mass flow rate, or sorry, volume flow rate? How to find the volume flow rate? First of all, let us see what is the mass flow rate of the fluid or the air. Mass flow rate. How we will get mass flow rate? From the value of refrigeration capacity. Right, you know that refrigeration capacity is equal to mass flow rate into refrigeration effect, and refrigeration effect will be equal to H1 minus H4, that is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4. Refrigeration effect you know, refrigeration capacity you know, then you will get mass flow rate. So let us solve for mass flow rate first. Right, so solve for, if I write solve for mass flow rate. Right, we know that refrigeration capacity will be equal to mass flow rate into refrigeration effect. Right, and refrigeration effect is equal to how much? H1 minus H4. Steady flow energy equation, no concern, no mentioned about any velocity. So H1 minus H4, and this is a constant pressure process. So you can write this is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4. Everybody knows what is the Cp for air? 1.005. T1 is how much? 273. T4 we got 203.9. This is the refrigeration effect. This is the refrigeration effect, right? The refrigeration effect we got. Now, from the basic formula, if I write that refrigeration capacity is how much? 3.5 is equal to mass flow rate into Cp is 1.005 into this 273 minus 203.9 Kelvin. So from here if you solve, then the mass flow rate will be equal to 0.05 kg per second. 0.05 kg per second. This is the mass flow rate. This is the mass flow rate. Right, this is the mass flow rate. Now we have to find the volume flow rate. How you will find the volume flow rate? From the ideal gas equation. Right, from the ideal gas equation. So let us find volume flow rate at inlet of compressor. At inlet of compressor. right? Air can be treated as an ideal gas. There is no other way to find volume flow rate because we need to use the ideal gas equation and air is mentioned, so we can take the ideal gas. So we can write ideal gas equation is P1 V1 is equal to mR T1. Mass is same, right? Mass which is flowing is same. If I take the mass flow rate, then here it will be volume flow rate, right? If I divided it by time, so this is the one and the same thing. How much is the P1? P1 is 1 bar. It is given in the question, it is 1 bar. And if I put the value of R 0.287 kilojoule, so I have to convert 1 bar in kilopascal, that is 100 kilopascal, right? So P1 is 100 kilopascal. Units are more important, right? So if you write that like this, if I write that volume flow rate at point 1 will be equal to, what is the mass flow rate? 0.05 into 0.287, R value is 0.287, T1 is given as 273 divided by P1, that is 100 kilopascal. Write the units. Units you have to check. Because this R I am putting at 0.287 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, that's why this 100 will be in kilopascal. Just mind it, because that is in kilojoule. So from here, if you solve this, you will get volume flow rate at point 1 will be equal to 0.039 meter cube per second. 0.039 meter cube per second. This is the volume flow rate at point 1. Similarly, we can find the volume flow rate at the exit of compressor. Second, we have to find volume flow rate at exit of expander, not compressor. At exit of expander, we have to find this volume flow rate at exit of expander. Again, what we can use? Ideal gas equation, that is at exit of compressor means, exit of turbine means 4. So this is P4, V4 is equal to, mass flow rate will remain same, mR T4. If I take mass flow rate, then it will be volume flow rate. How much is the P4? P4 and P1 are same, right? You know this is constant pressure process. So P4 will be equal to P1. P4 will be equal to P1, right? So if you put the value here, that volume flow rate at the point 4 will be equal to, what is mass flow rate? 0.05, R is 0.287. Now what is T4? We find 203.9, right? 203.9 divided by P4, that is 100. So if you solve this, then the volume flow rate at point 4 will be equal to 0.029 meter cube per second. So this is the answer. So we have to find the temperature at all the points, right? So T1, T3 are given. So we find this T2 and T4 and volume flow rate at the entry of the compressor and at the exit of the turbine or expander. These 4 things which we have to find out. So this is a very basic question, nothing more serious question. It is a very normal question, and if you are okay with all of the formula of thermodynamics and basic equations of refrigeration and air conditioning, that this equation we used here, refrigeration capacity is equal to mass flow rate into refrigeration effect. If you understand this, then this is a very easy going question, right? Now let us solve one more good question of your reversed Brayton cycle, right? This is a very good question and hope your concept will be more clear after solving this question. Let us first draw the TS diagram. Before reading the question, let us first draw a TS diagram. This is our usual practice. So this is process 1 to 2, right? Process 2 to 3, 3 to 4, to be a straight line, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the reverse Brayton cycle TS diagram. Now let us start reading the question. In a Bell-Coleman refrigeration plant, air is used as a refrigerant. It is given that air is used, so air can be treated as an ideal gas. So ideal gas equations are valid in this question, right? The pressure and temperature at the beginning of the compression, that is at point 1. At point 1, P1 and T1 are given. So the pressure is 1 bar, it is given at the beginning of the compression, pressure is 1 bar and temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, that means 283 Kelvin. And air is compressed to 5 bar. Air is compressed to 5 bar, that means P2 is given as 5 bar. In compression, the air is compressed up to 5 bar and then cooled to, it is written cooled to 25 degrees Celsius, that means T3 is given 25 degrees Celsius, that means 298 Kelvin. T3 is given 298 Kelvin. If compression and expansion follows, compression follows PV raised to power 1.35 is equal to constant and expansion follows PV raised to power 1.3 is equal to constant. In this, gamma are different. That's why this is a very good question. In this, gamma are different. So for compression, we have the relation PV raised to power 1.35 is equal to constant, and for expansion we have PV raised to power 1.3 is equal to constant. We have to find the COP we have to find, and gamma for air is 1.4 and Cp for air is given as 1.009. Now let us start solving this question, right? Now, the most important thing in this question is that if the process is reversible adiabatic, just pay attention, if the process is reversible adiabatic, then this relation must be PV raised to power 1.4. Gamma for air we know 1.4. So if the process is reversible adiabatic, then the relation will be PV raised to power 1.4 is equal to constant. But here the relation are given PV raised to power 1.35 is equal to constant and PV raised to power 1.3 is equal to constant. This relation is given because of the, you can say that